Yeah. The question is, which vertical should be used by Yahoo then for sales, by Yahoo for sales or for marketing or something. Okay, there's a thing called as best fit analysis. What we do is, as a BA, if you go like in really nascent stages of the project, in the beginning stages of the project, like really, I have never been to a project in those beginning stages. Some of my consultants have been, but I have never been myself. Actually, I've been. I remember now. So then they haven't decided, which vertical or which whether they will even go for SQL or not. They haven't decided sometimes. So there's something called as best fit analysis. See, typically, like see, in general, Yahoo basically sells ads. So it should be a media. It's a media company. And especially not every Yahoo has Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance also is a portal where they sell something related to finance. So there are so many other parts too. But the main thing is really advertisements, and I'm talking about that. And from that perspective, that division at least should use Yahoo Media. Sorry, Siebel eMedia. But but there is thing called as best fit analysis, and that is done by a BA like yourself. And he will sit and he will look at the requirements, high level requirements, and then he will say, oh, and he will determine what is the which version of which vertical or horizontal of Siebel is the best fit or the closest fit to the requirements at the high level, not at the lower level. High level requirements are really high level. Okay, I mean they are just like they want to improve calendar functionality. That's a high level thing. That's not a low level thing. Like what improvements do they want? Not even, this is not even a requirement. This is just a high level thing. So you will see, okay, whether CBLE communication has calendar, whether CBLE media even has calendar. If one of these do not have calendar, you will reject that. So you do the best fit analysis. Typically, you go with the gut feeling. CBLE media should be a good fit for Yahoo, but then it may not end up that way. Now, typically, if it's a pharma company, CBLE Pharma would be a good fit for them. Typically, if it is a telecom company like T-Mobile, etc., CBLE.com will be e-communication will be a good fit. If it is a finance company, CBLE Finance will be a good fit. This is where the verticals really stop being too stringent. Media, many media companies don't use e-media. Many energy companies don't use CBLE energy. They just find CBLE sales as the best fit. Many insurance companies don't use that. They just use something else. For example, this insurance company uses e-finance. That they find that as a better fit. So I have seen this rule not to be violated in case of pharmaceutical, finance, and communication companies, but I have this rule being violated many times in case of other companies. For example, there is a company called as Yahoo, which has three CBL implementations. One is an e-media, the other one is a sales. The same thing they do, and they are phasing out both these, and they are rolling out a new one, and that is CBL sales. Civil call center implementation. So my point is, they are rejecting civil media now, and they are going. So basically, because if you ask me, there is not a huge difference anyway in these verticals and horizontals. Pharmaceutical, communication, and finance, they are really very different from each other as well as from the other horizontals. But other applications, people, if you ask me, they're kind of same. E-automotive is a little different. That's what I'm learning. I've not worked in e-automotive. Toyota in LA, Toyota has e-automotive. That was, I think, the pilot for Siebel for Toyota automotive product, and they say that Toyota e-automotive is very like what you call it. It's very like stringent. It's a very like there is a proper word for it. I'm not just for lack of proper word. I'll say stringent. It's like tailor made for like automotive industry, and no other application, no other vertical, no other things can use that. It's basically caters to dealers and things like that, and I think quality control functionality is kind of very robust and things like that. But um, in general, like I've seen that like these three types of industries typically use these three verticals. Other industries really don't care too much about the vertical, and you will see that they will be using horizontals. Typically, they will be using horizontals. Yeah, there is no e-media in this because this is not an exhaustive list.
There's a product e-media.
There is actually Siebel has about 200 now. This thing 200 applications which are not mentioned here.
Okay.
Yeah, there is this company Eli Lilly Animal Health. They basically sell animal health parts, and they are using e-pharma. If you ask me, they can easily do with Siebel also. They don't do anything which is related to e-pharma. E-pharma means sample disbursement, lot. I know I'm talking Greek, but I'm just for the sake of recording. Let me say everything. There's a lot of reconciliation, lot of adjustment, medical education planning, seminars planning. These are the typical e-pharma things, and because of which pharmaceutical companies have to have something which is related to them. For example, records cannot be deleted and all that stuff. There's a lot of functionality, granular level functional differences between pharmaceutical company requirements and other industries requirements. So Sibori Pharma is a good fit for pharmaceutical companies. But the company that is there, animal health company, when I didn't know all this, I found out that animal health products don't come under so much scrutiny. Like the vaccinations and all these are very much controlled. Like like you cannot buy like these prescriptions and all, that is a control mechanism, right? That if you can buy this medicine only with the prescription. That's a control mechanism. You can buy the drugs for the animals without any prescription. That's what I am trying to say. So it's not controlled. So application doesn't have to be too much careful about it. I was surprised there is no regulation. There is no regulation, and so animal health is not really regulated by FDA so much. So the application that Siebel makes, so the processes are not very stringent, so they do not need to really buy Siebel Pharma. They can easily do with Siebel sales, but nevertheless they're using Siebel Pharma. Maybe 5 years back someone must have done this best fit analysis for them, and they might have found certain things, areas, and they might have suggested e-pharma on the basis of that, or they might have not had a good Siebel TA. Who could have, Achha, by the way, verticals cost a little bit more. The licensing of verticals is a little bit more. They cost more. Horizontals are a little cheaper. This is Maruti versus Maruti 1000. Yeah. This is Maruti 800 or Maruti Zen. They look same.
Maruti and Deluxe, which is an 80.
Yes. Yes.
Honda
Really, they are more expensive. I am not. I don't know. I'm not aware of the fact. How expensive they are. You will never be really been to that part. But then typical CO license costs about $3,000 per piece. But then there are companies which get a lot of discounts. Like I know that there are some big companies that got just 90% discount. So even licensing cost is a big chapter which you don't have to deal with. It's a BA duty, but then it's like lead BAs or like really high level like thing. You will be typically going somewhere in the middle of the project, so you wouldn't have to deal with it. But um, but then um, um,